Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend so far. Welcome to the class, Tung Tian. Welcome Mandeep, Angel. Nice to see students joining in. In this class, everyone, we are looking at IELTS Speaking Part 3, the specific questions following part 2, and we're looking to give specific answers and get a band 9 score. We're going to practice questions together today and talk some strategy as well. Welcome to our chat moderator, Carolina. Good to have you in the class. Nisha, Muaz, nice to see more students. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there for the general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of information to help you improve your English and your communication. IELTS is an English proficiency exam. It's testing your grammar, your vocabulary, and even more importantly, it is testing your communication skills as well. Welcome, Rashika and Pavan. Nice to see more members in the class. Our academic IELTS website looks like this at aehelp.com. You can click that big red button there to join the premium package. After you click it, it is a one-time payment for lifetime access. It's there for you until you pass your IELTS exam. For the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com with the green background. And again, you can click that big red button there to join our premium package. It is well worth it. All right, everyone. So, you can contact me if you have questions. Adrian at aehelp.com. After this class, you will have a few days break, and then I'm back on Wednesday the 14th. Live classes are from Wednesday to Saturday, so you can see this schedule on our YouTube community board. Subscribe to the channel, and then you'll always know when these live classes are going on. All right, and this was our part 2 question that we just looked at 30 minutes ago with our members. Talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. And we talked about our best friend Diego, who won a Fulbright scholarship to the University of Toronto. And just as a review, let's go over the response together that we gave. If you saw the previous class, this is a great chance for you to practice this again. Charmin says, I watched this. All right, Charmin and everybody else, so just repeat after me. Here we go. From the top. Now, this is a speaking class, so make sure to speak and repeat. It's great to type in the chat, but of course, speak and repeat. Okay, and if it's a bit fast, don't worry, just do your best. So one more time, my best friend Diego, who I have known for the past 15 years, won a major scholarship just a year ago, back in June of 2020. Diego is a tall and slender man, almost 2 meters in height. He has blue eyes and wears spectacles, probably because he reads so much. His eyes are strained a bit. Last year, I was pleasantly surprised when I had heard from him that he won the Fulbright scholarship to the University of Toronto, which will pay for not only his tuition fees to complete his master's in civil engineering, but also it will cover his living expenses as well. The reason that he received this scholarship is because he got the highest GPA in his graduating class. He graduated with a GPA of 4.9 from 5. Indeed, Diego is an extremely studious and industrious student. He often burns the midnight oil, studying until 11 p.m. or later, and he reads at least one book each week. I think that Diego truly deserves this award, first and foremost because he is the cleverest student in his undergraduate class, and also because he is a really down-to-earth and polite person who will represent his community well at the University of Toronto. Diego is considerate of others. He opens doors for people, greets people with a cheery smile, and he stays optimistic about his ambitions. I'm sure that Diego will complete an excellent master's thesis and will be a great addition to the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Toronto. He really deserves this Fulbright scholarship. Okay, and at this point, the examiner will say, all right, your 2 minutes is up. Please stop there. Now we will continue with part 3. For part 3, I will ask you a question or two in connection to your response and some questions related to the topic of part 2. Okay, so let's hop back to speaking part 3. What do you think might be a question the examiner will ask when you give this response? So examiners usually have 3 or 4 different questions that they think of while you're giving your part 2 response so that they can ask you a question in connection to that. This is to continue the conversation. It's also to see how well you react in natural conversation. It's kind of like doing a little presentation in school, and then the classroom has a chance to ask you some questions about your presentation. Okay, so Carolina says maybe something like, will you apply for a scholarship in the future? Yeah, Carolina, that's absolutely possible. So a possible question will be something like, will you apply for this scholarship in the future as well? Yeah, definitely that could be a question. Okay. Rajveer says, what experiences has Diego shared about his studies at the University of Toronto? Yeah, sure. So remember, experiences, Rajveer, almost immediately you should be thinking present perfect, right? When we emphasize experience. What experiences has Diego shared about the University of Toronto? Yeah, that could very well be a question as well. Okay. Alak Haider says maybe something like, do you have an ambition to continue your graduate studies? Okay. Ois says, have you ever received a big award like Diego? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Let's go with this first one. So give me a nice full sentence answer for this first question. So any one of these are possible. These are all very, very good. They're very possible questions that the examiner might ask you after giving this kind of a response. So here we go. So the examiner asks you, okay, will you apply for this Fulbright scholarship in the future as well? Give me a nice full sentence answer to this. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. And you have to be nice and fast. You can't be thinking too long. You have to be nice and fluent. Okay, Muaz, that question will be later in part 3. Okay, that's a little bit more general. So here we go. Give me a nice full sentence answer. Part 3 is specific. You want to definitely reflect on what you said in part 2. Make connections with your part 2 answers in your part 3 answers. Okay. Arjun says, Definitely, it doesn't hurt to try, right? I've been preparing for quite some time for a master's as well, and this would certainly help. Very nice answer, Arjun. It's very natural. That's the kind of natural diction that will get you a high mark, Arjun. So very good. Definitely, it doesn't hurt to try, right? It's a rhetorical question. It's a tag question. I like it, Arjun. I haven't actually taught much about using tag questions in the speaking. They can be a bit tricky because they can be impolite at times, but used well, they can certainly work, as in your case, okay? So I like it. I'm going to take that, Arjun, before I look at some other ones. So definitely. It won't hurt to try, right? That right, it's a very typical kind of tag question. It won't hurt to try, right? I have a decent GPA, and I've been preparing for my master's degree or my master's studies in Canada for some time, and this scholarship would certainly help. Very nice answer. Okay, repeat after me. Always start with the question, will you apply for this Fulbright scholarship in the future as well? Definitely, it won't hurt to try, right? I have a decent GPA and I've been preparing for my master's studies in Canada for some time, and this scholarship would certainly help. Okay, nice, natural, good answer. That will get you a high band score. Okay, Rajveer says, certainly, I am as studious in Diego, and I have a 4.8 GPA. I will definitely improve it further in order to confer with the Fulbright scholarship next year. Okay, that's good, Rajveer. Nice reflection. Absolutely. Kevin says, absolutely, winning the Fulbright scholarship has always been my ultimate goal. I'm currently getting my credentials, such as my IELTS and GRE scores ready. In fact, my friend's success story has corroborated my belief in everyone being able to become an awardee when they put in enough commitment. All right, Kevin, good. I wouldn't say life goal. I don't think a scholarship is, yeah, I mean, it's okay, but maybe, but it wouldn't be a life goal. Okay, all right. Akshay says, obviously, I will apply for the scholarship for my future as it will help me to pursue my master's in a Canadian university. Akshay, I don't recommend using the word obviously. It's a bit smug. Okay, among friends, we'll use that expression sometimes, obviously, but you have to be very careful on the IELTS exam. Why is it obvious, right? The examiner doesn't know you, so it's awkward to say obviously. So be careful using this expression, obviously. Okay, I'll even make a note of that because that can be awkward language, and the examiner will take marks not because you're being rude, but because the examiner will realize that you don't understand the true nature of that leading expression, obviously. Okay? Okay? It's smug. Okay? So the word smug means it's like you're being overly smart in an awkward way to your listener. All right. So be careful to use obviously as a leading expression. It is smug and can be quite impolite. All right. And again, you'll lose marks not because you're not being polite, but because the examiner's thinking, well, you probably don't know what you're actually saying if you're saying that during an official IELTS exam. Okay? All right. So then the examiner will say, okay, well, let's continue talking about awards. Of course, no surprise there. The topic of part 2 was talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. And then they'll say, let's talk about awards. So the question that they might ask you here is, what are some different types of international awards that people can earn? Say a nice full sentence for this one. So, what are some different types of international awards that people can earn? In this case, you want to use information from your notes. So in the previous class, when we thought about our notes and we thought about our 2-3 ideas, and this is where thinking of 2 to 3 ideas for part 2 can be really helpful, because we realize that while there are athletic awards, there are intellectual awards, there are social awards as well. And now you just need to think of, well, okay, what kind of athletic awards, what kinds of social awards and intellectual awards are there on the internet or at the international level? Okay. So international level. Shlok Kamath says there can be different awards such as academic, intellectual, or social awards which can be earned with enough dedication and commitment. Okay, Shlok, that's good. Now it's international award. So an international award would be like a Nobel Prize, an Olympic medal, okay? A Fulbright scholarship could be an international award. Darshan says, yes, it's a nice question. There are so many awards, but the most popular award is the Oscar. Darshan, that sounds like a memorized answer that you're giving me, and the examiner is going to mark you down for that, okay? It's not a nice question. It's just a question. I don't want to know about so many awards. I just want to know about international awards. So be more specific. Memorized answers will get you low marks, okay? Alak says the DAAD scholarship is one of the most important fully funded scholarships in Germany. It's internationally recognized. Okay, Alak, that's one. Give me at least one more. Ramnik says there are many awards based on the work of a person, like an Oscar for cinema, Nobel Prize for academics, or an Olympic medal for sports. Very nice answer. That's exactly the type of band 9 answer, Ramnik, that the examiner is looking for. You've got variety, you've got lexical resource, you're being very coherent, and as long as you're fluent, you're going to get a band 9. Kevin, I think you're meaning, in fact, for students like me, international awards take the form of scholarships like the Fulbright, and awardees are selected based on certain criteria such as academic merit. International prizes include the Peace Prize, like the Nobel, or entertainment awards, like the Grammy Awards for music. They are conferred on the basis of people's global impact. Global impact, okay? Kevin? Otherwise, a nice answer. I like your use of the word conferred. Okay. Rajveer says, some distinguished international awards that individuals can earn are the World Cup in sports, such as cricket and football, as well as the Nobel Award to recognize people for their breakthroughs in academics, like physics and mathematics. Of course, Rajveer, as we know, there is actually no math Nobel Prize, but that doesn't matter, okay? Truth doesn't matter on the IELTS. You might get a smile, but you will not lose marks for that, okay? I know that we say that in one of our videos as well. All right, Nigayman says, people can receive numerous kinds of global awards from different fields of life, like intellectual awards, where scientists discover new elements and win a global prize, or music awards for a pop song that's top of the charts. as well as athletic awards, such as a gold medal in the World Cup of Swimming, right? Okay, very good. So, so there are several different kinds of global prizes to acknowledge the skills of various talented people, such as intellectual awards in science, the most famous of these being the Nobel Prize, as well as athletic awards such as Olympic gold medals, and certain social awards as well for having a great impact on the community. All right. And yeah, if you make connections to part 2, it's just that much better, okay? So here we go. When you have in the question different types, they're clearly looking for plurals, so you want to have at least 2 types, okay? Keep your thinking clear, keep it simple, and remember, use your notes from part 2 or use the idea from your notes, because you won't see your notes in part 3. They will ask you to put the notes to the side, but that doesn't mean you can't use your ideas that you put down. Okay, so here we go. What are some different types of international awards that people can earn? There are several different kinds of global prizes to acknowledge the skills of talented people, such as intellectual awards in science, the most famous of these being the Nobel Prize, as well as athletic awards such as Olympic gold medals, and certain social awards as well for having a great impact on the community. And then, of course, music awards, cinema awards as well, like the Grammys and the Academy Awards, okay? So lots of answers are possible. You should never think that you don't know or you don't have an idea, okay? So here's a little tip. If you ever think that you don't know, it's not that you don't know, it's that you're not thinking about it, okay? So IELTS IELTS speaking questions are such that basically all people should be able to answer them. If you think, I have no idea, it's not true. You just simply haven't thought about it the right way. Oftentimes I train students for the IELTS speaking section, and they'll say, oh, I don't know, I don't have any ideas about that question. And then I talk a little bit more to the student, and they suddenly realize they have lots of answers for that question. They just didn't think about it, and then they go, oh yeah, all the time, okay? I've never actually had a student who I'm training where they actually really don't know any answers to these questions. So you always know the answers, you just have to think about it the right way. Okay, so the examiner will often ask you a follow-up question such as this one, okay? Which is the most prestigious? So in this case, the examiner asking, which of these awards is the most prestigious? Okay. Now, if you don't know the meaning of prestigious, right, what can you do? So if the examiner asks you a question like this and you don't know, you should use logic to try to figure it out. And there is one trick that you can do to help you make sure that you're answering the right question. Okay, what can you do? So, which is the most prestigious? So Carolina says you can buy time. Absolutely. And you can check to see if you're guessing correct or if you're inferring correct. How do you do that? Okay. How do you do that? So how do you check to make sure that you understand correctly? Okay, there is a way to do that. All right. If you do not know for sure the meaning of prestigious, you can confirm your idea by paraphrasing. So the examiner cannot paraphrase, but you can paraphrase. Yeah, Rajveer, very good. So Rajveer says paraphrase it. Okay, so try to paraphrase this question, which is the most prestigious. So you can say something like, just to be clear, you're asking me which of these awards is, and then how would you finish that? Rashika says, are you asking me about the most valuable award? Yeah, very good, Rashika. Okay. Kevin's already answering the question, but before we get there, Kevin, I want to see how you would paraphrase this. Okay. Rashika, that was really good. Yeah. And Pachu Yadav says, find the meaning in the context. Absolutely. Once you find what you think the meaning is in context, you can paraphrase it, and the examiner will nod or they'll say yes if you paraphrased it correctly. Okay? Alak Haider says worthy, but put that into a full sentence. An says honored. Okay? Pavan says, what is the biggest award in the world? Yeah, that works too. So the way I would do it is, just to be clear, you're asking me which of these awards is the most coveted. Okay, now I'm obviously teaching you another high-level word here with this, coveted. You could also say most sought after, most valuable, most respected, held in the highest regard. And all of this is nice language, okay? So prestigious could paraphrase any of these words in this context, all right? So here is a nice list of vocabulary for you. So just to be clear, you're asking me which of these awards is the most coveted, is the most sought after, is the most valuable, is the most respected, is held in the highest regard. Okay? Absolutely, An. I'm teaching you new words every day, expanding your horizons and your vocabulary. That's right. Okay, so now that the examiner has said, yes, that's what I'm asking, or they repeat the question and then you kind of realize, okay, yeah, that's what they're asking, then you can answer this question. So answer the question, which is the most prestigious international award? Okay. Ken Fambao says, in my opinion, the Nobel Prize is one of the most crucial and is the most respected award. Ken, why? Answer that question of why. Okay. An says, that's a tough call. But I think the social awards like the Global Nobel Peace Prize that Mother Teresa received is the most honored one, as it reflects the amazing contribution to our society and impacts a great number of people in a positive way. Very good, Un. I would finish that a little bit more clearly or a little bit clearer, but overall very good. Okay. Natri Chloroa says, from my point of view, the Nobel Award is the most important since it is made for the most dedicated person because of their studies, which will then be useful for science as a shining example for humanity. Not just for a university, but for humanity. Okay. Yep, so most people are in agreement that it is the Nobel Prize, potentially the Nobel Peace Prize, absolutely. Sharman says, in my perspective, the Nobel Prize is the most valued award because it contains a lot of prestige for both the individual and the respective country. Even the name is recording every aspect of the... And I don't see the rest of it, Sharman, but it looks like you're on the right track. Okay, so arguably the most coveted award around the globe is the Nobel Peace Prize because it not only reflects the extraordinary achievement of an individual, but it also represents the highest level of humanitarian effort whereby individuals like Saint Teresa are recognized as shining examples of ethics and drive to elevate humanity into a truly sentient species. Okay, I'm maybe going a little bit too insane on this one, but why not? If you're really looking for that band 9 plus, you can answer questions in this way, being quick and creative. All right, so the question is, which of these international awards is the most prestigious? And then here's the answer. Again, repeat after me. So arguably, the most coveted award around the globe is the Nobel Peace Prize because it not only reflects the extraordinary achievement of an individual, but it also represents the highest level of humanitarian effort whereby individuals like Saint Teresa are recognized as shining examples of ethics and have the drive to elevate humanity into a truly sentient species. Okay? All right. So that will certainly impress the examiner. Lots of great vocabulary, a very direct example, explanation, and has all the elements with correlative conjunction as well, and of course lots of unique vocabulary. Okay? All right. Let's go to the next question. Here we go. So, be quick, clever, give an answer, an explanation, and an example. Okay? Why is it important to award people in society? Again, think about if you ask 10 people, what would most people answer to this? Give that answer. Okay? Ultra Gamer is asking, should we learn new big words to use in speaking? Ultra, you should always be learning new words to better express yourself. And definitely don't experiment. So do not experiment with new words in the speaking. Only use words that you have learned and that you're confident and comfortable using naturally. Okay, that's why many of you are here in this class today to learn some of these words. So that's great. Okay. All right, I still can't read the Cyrillic, but I'm really getting motivated by all of our Slavic students to learn a bit of Cyrillic, so at least I could read your names. The response is, in my opinion, awards play an important role in social life as they are used to elevate people for their achievements. The end of that is awkward, so I changed it a little bit. Okay. Kevin says, awarding certain people is instrumental because it hails and therefore empowers further contributions in the interest of mankind. For other people, acknowledging individuals' global development can inspire them to follow accordingly, learning about winners whose initiatives combat environmental protection. I also try to do my fair share of recycling every day. Very good. All right, Kevin. Nice example at the end there. Okay, OS says, rewarded individuals in some awards encourage people, and this motivates humanity for further accomplishments. When I got an award from my hospital, I continued to work hard on my job in my shift without feeling tired. Okay, very good, Ois. I like your smooth flowing example. Again, a couple of corrections with grammar, but overall, very good. Shani says, I personally feel like awards are given to people for their true acts of bravery, and this is something that has a positive impact on society, as saving one's life is the greatest act one can do. Shani, avoid the word things. I think you're kind of stuck on one concept of being awarded for saving somebody's life, but it's more than that, Shani. So try to keep your thinking open. Okay, usually part 3 questions aren't quite that specific. Thinking clearly says, I think it is necessary to provide people with awards, since when people receive such prizes, they feel positively about their work, and what they are doing is right. It vindicates their work, right? And it elevates people in their life. Okay. Charmin says, well, it's extremely indispensable to award people in society because it not only inspires the individual to achieve more in their task, but also enhances people's interest to embark on such types of activities. Okay, Charmin, very good. Can you give me an example for that? All right. So it is vital to recognize accomplished individuals in society by presenting them with a prize, as this not only vindicates their efforts, but also further encourages the individual and others to pursue greatness in that field. Just like my friend Diego receiving his Fulbright scholarship has motivated me to engage my studies and apply for this scholarship in the future. Okay, so reflecting back to part 2. Okay, excuse me. So here we go. Why is it important to award people in society? Now, notice all the paraphrasing here as well. It is vital. So instead of important, I use the word vital. Vital means necessary for life. And in this case, it's used accurately because awards are a necessary part of life, okay? Social life, not physical, but social life in this case. So it is vital to recognize accomplished individuals in society by presenting them with a prize, as this not only vindicates their efforts, but also further encourages the individual and others to pursue greatness in that field. Just like my friend Diego receiving a Fulbright scholarship has motivated me to engage my studies and apply for this scholarship in the future. Instead of vindicate, I think a better word here is validate. Okay, so I'm going to change it to that. Validates their efforts. Okay. All right. Vindicates is a little bit different. Okay. All right, so validates their efforts. Okay, it basically says that, hey, what you're doing is good, it's useful, we need it. It's validating your efforts. So when you study a lot of English and you practice for your IELTS exam and you get a band score of 9, it validates that you have good English skills and you took the correct steps. Vindicate, yeah, Rajveer is just giving us that one. Vindicate means to justify their efforts. Justify is okay in this case, so vindicate is okay as well. Validate is maybe a bit better, okay, of a word choice, but both are good. Okay, you're definitely going to pick up points for either. All right, and so next follow-up question. Is this always positive practice? So in this case, the examiner is basically asking you, is it always positive practice to award people? So is that always good? Is it always good to give somebody an award and say, hey, you did a great job? Thank you, Arjun, for joining our group of members and Nerd Ninja. Okay, very good. Nice to have you on board. Send me an email so we can hook you up with those perks, okay? Neelam, thank you for joining our group of members as well. Jassy says, I think it's quite constructive as it empowers individuals to rejuvenate in their profession. However, in some cases, it could be detrimental because the person who is awarded starts bullying others. What do you mean by that, Jassy? I'm not 100% sure on what you mean. So, okay. Schluck says, yes, I believe it is a positive practice as individuals strive to benefit society and must be recognized and praised. Nacho says, usually awarding people is a common practice which brings benefits to people's lives, such as encouraging them to contribute more and inspire talented individuals to involve themselves in developing their country and community. Okay. All right. Oa says, absolutely. Rewarding people's positive contributions to motivate them and do their job well. It's also a great attitude so that people can reflect on society positively. Always careful not to try to put too many ideas too quickly into one sentence. Ken says, well, every coin has two sides. Give somebody an award commonly will lead to power corruption. So the answer is no. All right, Ken, it feels like you're using a little bit of a memorized response. Every coin has two sides is not maybe the best idiom. I would actually, if I really wanted to use an idiom, I would maybe use the one that is the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Okay. Arjun says, in my limited experience, I've never noticed awards backfiring. However, I can understand why this could breed envy and corruption, but as long as it remains constructive, I believe awards are essential. That is a beautiful response, Arjun. Very nice. Okay, some nice answers there, right? Yeah, usually there are two sides to a coin. So most of the time, I do believe that giving an award benefits the individual and society, as I had explained in my previous answers. Okay. Don't be shy, students. Use expressions like this to reflect back on what you said, especially when it's aptly used, it's correctly used. So most of the time, I do believe that giving an award benefits the individual and society, as I had explained in my previous answer. However, I have heard of instances where awards were given for achievements which were harmful to people, such as the Nobel Prize for frontal lobotomies back in the 70s. It can also be counterproductive when children are given prizes for suboptimal performances, as this is misleading to the effort that's actually required for excellence. Okay. So maybe a little bit of personal opinion in here as well, but this is true, and I thought I would kind of share this information with you at the same time on how you can express yourself. All right, so here we go. Is this always positive practice? Repeat after me. Most of the time, I do believe that giving an award benefits the individual and society, as I had explained in my previous answer. However, I have heard of instances where awards were given for achievements which were harmful to people, such as the Nobel Prize for frontal lobotomy back in the 70s. That's a true story. You can look it up. It can also be counterproductive when children are given prizes for suboptimal performances, as this is misleading to the effort that is actually required to excellence. And I'm sure many of you know about this, where people are giving prizes to kids for just trying and just being there. And one of the arguments against this is that it doesn't actually encourage children, but it gives them misinformation on what's needed to be truly recognized. Okay, so that's my answer there. Again, visualizing, right? So some of this is knowledge from my own studies in psychology in university about the Nobel Prize for frontal lobotomies, and some of it is from my life experience, seeing different kinds of competition for children where everybody gets a prize no matter what they did. Firstly, the person who actually is the winner is like, really? Then why did I win if everybody gets a prize? And then all the kids who didn't win are like, I'm also great. And so, yeah. Okay, so that's one of the possible answers. Okay, I'm going to stop there, students. I think you get the right idea. We've covered lots of new vocabulary in today's lesson. You've all done a fantastic job. There I go, praising everybody. And I'm encouraging you. I'm encouraging everybody. And I will be back on the 10th. Okay, so we have a couple days break, just like as usual. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, no class. I'll be back on the 10th with, or sorry, not 10th. I'll be back, that's today. I'll be back on the 14th. That's actually my birthday. So we'll have a speaking part 1 class on my birthday. Yay! I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. And for lots more lessons, check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and glshelp.com for general IELTS. Members, do use Discord. I've set that up for you, so just a reminder. Thank you, Ramnik, for that advanced happy birthday. Hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday as well. Okay, everyone, have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Stay strong, stay healthy, keep practicing, and truly earn your awards. I'm sure that all of you have it in you. Much love to all of you wherever you are in this beautiful world. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria, British Columbia. See you next week. Bye.